against the run. They're a solid group, though. They do a good job. What they're looking for in this one, though, is an elite performance.
Now the first carry for Marshawn Lynch. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. Tackle made there by Frank Clark.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Yeah, they got to get to the 23 here on third. Throwing his car on third down. He may try and run for this. And he slides to avoid the hit. Carr can beat you in a lot of ways. The scramble there, a perfect example as he gets the first.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
First down, they'll run with Lynch. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
Second down, Washington. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. That one good for 13 and a Raider first down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script, you go through your play calling, you go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
The Raiders into the red zone for the first time. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 11.
Down! 185! Hey, Raider 2!
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. Incomplete. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That'll allow him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. He only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defense.
And the Raiders are in for 6. Touchdown. Derek Carr, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Raiders have taken the early lead. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
On for the extra point, Giorgio Tavecchio. Tavecchio good on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. On as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Seattle now ready to march out of the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. A carry down for McKissick. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
They'll run with McKissick, and that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. Third and long, it's Wilson. He's going to float this one deep right side. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down.
Pass interference, defense.
Some boos coming down right now from this home crowd after that call.
Yeah, and that was because of the pass interference call, but for a second there, I thought maybe they'd gotten a look at my appearance as Othello in the high school play.
You were Othello?
Not a good one, let me tell you.
This is the Oklahoma State one, Chris Carson. And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Not much happening there on 1st down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
Now they'll throw it with Wilson. It's complete to Lockett. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. From the gun, it's Wilson. And that is incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
Now here's Michael Dixon on for his 2nd punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. Offense now, they trot back out, and coming up on their 2nd drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back, chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice. It all came together, but I'll bet you it got galvanized in the locker room in pregame. Somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point.
Carr now on 1st down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, Guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
Hey, Raider 2.
Back to the air on second down. It's Carr. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
When you're in man coverage, you have help over the top, you become a much more confident defender. Trail the receiver and know that someone over the top can make a play, and that's exactly what happened here. The free safety coming up. With the interception.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. They'll start out on the ground with Carson, and they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. 1 quarter in the books. 7-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Alongside my broadcast partner Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks with a football to begin quarter number 2, but they face a 2nd and long to start things out. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
And the Raiders call on a nickel set for 3rd down. Now Wilson. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Boy, he came in off the edge so quickly there.
Look out, because that's exactly what it was being shouted by the offensive lineman to his quarterback because he had no chance to block it.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone. For a touchback. And now Oakland ready to take the field. A tale of two extremes already in this game. A touchdown pass on their opening drive followed by an interception last time out.
Now, it sounds like things balance out, right? What's that mythological thing that we do? If you have a candy bar, have a diet soda with it, it balances it out. And we know that's not really true, right? Because the interception, that sting lingers a little bit longer. Got to come out now and put together some nice plays.
They start the drive with edge. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Now Carr throwing on 2nd down. To the left side, complete for Amari Cooper. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. A Raider first down as Carr finds Cooper.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
First, Washington looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner. So nothing there. I don't know that that's all in the back, though. You got to look at blocking there, don't you?
I would agree with that totally. At some point, they have to win at the point of attack. Instead, it's the defense getting it done again and holding them to no gain.
Carr to throw after the play fake to Lynch. And this is caught by Martavis Bryant. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. First connection there of the afternoon for those two, and it's good for a first down. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
Probably nothing from our experience together. We have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be 3rd down. And when you're running the football, one thing you don't want to see is a big boy coming up there to swallow you whole in those D tackles and nose tackles.
No, you're actually counting on your big boys to protect you from them. But on that play, the defensive tackle had the leverage, and he won the battle. No gain, correct?
No gain. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. And the 3rd down pass falls incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
And no move to pull Carr and the offense off. They're going to go on 4th down. They'll go for it. It's Carr. He completes it to Bryant. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. They were caught in no man's land that time, but the decision to go for it, that was the right one. It's a first down.
I remember in pregame when we were talking to him on the field, and he took his gloves off and showed us his fingers. A few misshapen ones in there, and now we know why, trying to catch those types of bullets.
That was a dart. Yeah, even for a talented receiver, those are tough to hang on to. Back to the ground, Lynch. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
We keep talking about the impact that hybrid players have had on the NFL, those guys who can do multiple things. I think Cam Chancellor fits that perfectly. Is he a safety? Is he a linebacker? No, he's a football player.
And they love him in Seattle. He's been there ever since he came in the league in 2010. Now Carr. Caught by Nelson left side. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. What a methodical drive this is turning out to be. That time 9 yards, and the sticks move again.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Gives to Marshall. And his second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Doesn't matter who you're rooting for in this game. The effort of the man with the football, getting away from one and trying to turn forward and get some yardage, I really liked what he did there.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On second down, here's Carr. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Game clock setting at 2:02, so they'll get one play before the 2-minute warning. To throw on third down, Carr. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And the return just out across the 15 to the 16-yard line. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
After the interception, here's Wilson. His throw incomplete. The intended target, Doug Baldwin. And that'll bring up second down.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Second and 10 now. Wilson. And he hits on the slant route to Marshall. The reception good for 7. It's third down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down. From the shotgun, Wilson. He's got a man open. That's Marshall. And he will be knocked down hard, but he will have the first down. To throw again is Wilson. And the grab made by Doug Baldwin. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
I don't care how many times you tell the story, it never loses its luster for me. Doug Baldwin, undrafted out of Stanford, and plays like a #1 receiver should in the NFL. I don't don't care how you cover him. I don't care that his size isn't great. He's the one that typically comes up with the football.
Absolutely. His roots go all the way back to Gulf Breeze, Florida, where he's from, right on the water near Pensacola, and then, of course, to Stanford, and, boy, he's been good. And that's complete to the right side, and it's Marshall. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had to read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Flush to his right, and he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. And welcome back, the offensive unit. They took the timeout, and now they get set to line up as we resume action.
Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it.
Throwing now, Wilson on first down. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Second and 10. It's Wilson again. With a grab over the middle. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. The offense on third down tonight, they've only converted once in 4 tries. They're looking at third in the nose of the football. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Looking for Marshall, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Gary and Conley. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
Marshawn Lynch and the Raider offense heading back out there. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. Now after the INT, it's Carr. Steps away to his left. And they'll get him down up past the 15, just shy of the 20. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action.
On
the handoff, Lynch powers through and is going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. On 1st and 10, here's Carr. Letting one fly deep for Cooper. And almost intercepted. It would have been his second pick of the game. Instead, it'll be second down. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10.
Low. Down.
The final shot here before half for Carr. He's going to air one out. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll send you cross town to our studios here in Orlando and check in with the coach at our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We'll begin with an interesting one in the AFC. The Chargers heading east to take on Cleveland. And it's the Chargers who have the lead with that game getting close to halftime. The veteran, Phillip Rivers, with a couple of touchdown passes there. From there, let's head off and check out a second game. And you can see they trail in that matchup against the Tampa Bay Bucks. 2 touchdown passes there for Jameis Winston. Lastly, let's check in at our nation's capital. See what's happening with the Redskins at home at FedEx Field. And they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting Carolina Panthers. Jamison Crowder, a touchdown reception. Meanwhile, in our game, just the lone touchdown accounting for all the scoring. A tight one, 7-0 is the score. And for the call of the second half, we send it back to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. On first down, Carr. It's caught on the right side of Smith. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. That's like a nice second down for them.
And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
Well, Brandon, so much for halftime adjustments. They still can't get anything going on the ground. It may be time to loosen things up and start flinging it around a little bit.
The Raiders on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Carr looking to throw on 3rd and 2. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. A good kick, 48 yards, 4 on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Now we'll see what this Seahawks offense has in store with their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
no, tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic... Marker boards.
Yeah, those two.
On second down, here's Wilson. He's got a man. That's Marshall. And down he'll go at the 25. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Here's Wilson, and he's got his man in the backfield. That's complete. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. Give him 35 yards there on the third down conversion.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield, but when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 41. They'll run it down out of the gun. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. They run it with Carson. And a pretty good run there as he gets 7 down to the 33.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid-type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
They'll run it out of the gun, and he'll get nothing out of that one. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down, because really, they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
And Janikowski bangs it through, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
Now after the made field goal, here's Sebastian Janikowski to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll start on the ground with Lynch, and he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Zaire Jones there on the tackle.
Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
Now Carr throwing on 2nd down. Steps away. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
Throwing his car on third down. He can run for it, and he will. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for an Oakland first down.
How many times do we hear that third down may be the most important down in football, and there's no better example than what we just saw right there. Forced to scramble, knows where the first down marker is, dives for it, and gets it. What a big-time play, putting his body on the line to pick up a key first down.
Carr now on first down. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
Now Carr, out left side here to Bryant. Solid gain of 18 and a Raider first down. Carr now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. First and 10. The pitch out to Lynch. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. They'll run it now out of the gun. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a third down and 4 now.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again, go play action, hit them over the top.
A first throw for the backup Cook. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. So the first interception of his career under center, and you knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
It has to. And I know he feels like the world is just tumbling down at this moment, but there's got to be some veteran somewhere, some mentor that's going to tell him, hang in there, my man. Plenty more to come. Keep firing.
And out now come the Seahawks. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down.
Oftentimes when you're not winning at the point of attack for an offensive line, maybe they're getting out physical. Spread things out a little bit, make it more of a one-on-one blocking scheme. Then you don't have to win it physically. You just have to win it by position. That may open things up for your running backs.
Second down, Wilson. Baldwin with it over the middle. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this end across the 40. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 36. They'll run it now. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
All right, Brandon, you know me as well as anyone. You know I don't usually advocate abandoning things during a game, but here we are in the second half. I think it's time to change things up. Let the running game go a little bit. Let's get to the passing game, and if you still want to get in the hands of the runner, maybe you swing it to him, throw it to him a little bit, try it that way.
And the Seahawks on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd down and 12. From the gun, it's Wilson. Underneath to his running back, complete. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
A 10th carry of the game for Marshawn Lynch. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the 3rd quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the 4th quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, put a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got it up over the 40 to the 41. Defensively, the tackle by Cam Chancellor.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass. But in this game, How about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right. It might go to them in this game.
I like that. MVU. Well done.
Welcome back live to Orlando. This one's still anybody's ball game. It's a one-point difference here as we begin the fourth quarter of play. Now they'll throw with Carr. And his throw is incomplete. Knocking it away there defensively, Justin Coleman. Well, pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
On third down, Carr. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
Well, it's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. Here now, Johnny Townsend, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. This is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Eluding the pressure right. And avoids the contact by sliding. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
It's McKissick. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third. Another carry, same story. Fourth quarter, and he is in red numbers right now with a running game.
Hard to believe because you figure at some point you break off a run. But in this case, what we're seeing is just pure domination by the defense. I think it started with the scouting report. They got into what they were doing offensively, into their mindset, and now they're beating them to the punch on every snap.
Wilson now off the bootleg. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
Now here's Michael Dixon. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Fielded just inside the 30. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now Oakland ready to take the field.
They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. They want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
Throwing on first down is Carr. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. Cooper was the target there. That'll bring up second down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. Second down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting him to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
Carr going to try and throw on 3rd down. And he finds Carr.
Holding. Offense.
So a decent game,
Still 3rd
all
down.
for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. Only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Carr to throw after the play fake to Lynch. It's caught. Nelson. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A gain of 26 on the 3rd down conversion.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. They'll run it now out of the gun. And hell of a run. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. 12 more yards there and another first down. I guess he was saving his best for last, so to speak. Longest run of the day coming here in the 4th quarter right there.
And that type of run makes for a better night for him and his teammates, doesn't it? To be able to produce this late in the game can lead to some big smiles and satisfaction in the locker room after this one's over.
They run again on first down, Lynch. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. 11 more on that one and another first down.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
So first and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Carr now on first down. Oh no, he lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, that takeaway, partner, right there, that's a combination of coaching, execution, and absolute belief. Because a lot of guys will look at the scoreboard and go, this thing's pretty well done. But they still thought to themselves, if we can make a play, we give our teammates a chance to win it. And that's exactly what they did.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drive was deserved to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that. Oh, partner, that play brought back memories. Watching them string it out, letting the runner get all the way to the sideline area, but not letting him get out of bounds. They formed that picket fence and didn't allow him through.
Not only that, got him for a loss as well here. And one of the reasons they lead in the fourth quarter, plays like that.
Yeah, it took a little more time off the clock, making him do it that way, didn't it?
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. And he'll be taken down for a loss back at the 3. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. And yet again, this run game just continues to be completely shut off.
Completely stymied. I mean, they're trying to get some consistency, trying to find places to roam. They just haven't been there throughout this game.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is third and long. Now Wilson down around his goal line. He'll buy some time right. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And they'll get him down up past the 15. The rushing numbers for Wilson maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the first down.
All right, partner, I'm a defender, but I've got to express my admiration there. Moving around, making it happen, and instead of worrying about protecting himself, he goes and gets the first down. I've got to give it to him on that one.
Normally, you don't want your guy taking shots, your quarterback, but it's winning time here in the fourth quarter. If he needs to make those plays with the legs, go ahead, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. At this stage of the game, all protections, they're off.
Wilson now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. First and 10. On first down, Wilson. It's incomplete over the middle. That's Baldwin. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now Wilson on 2nd down. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a 1st down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. Wilson now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Now Wilson on 1st down. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down. Again, they were targeting Marshall there, and it's 2nd down.
Oh, he caught it. Just couldn't get the feet down. Couldn't get that toe tap sequence, right? I was ready to call him tippy toes if that one was completed.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Second and 10 now. Wilson. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. He'll be dropped shy of the 40 despite an excellent display of footwork. Give him 2 yards on that play. And just like that, it's 3rd down. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They face a critical 3rd down now, needing a score here in the late going. And they're left looking at 3rd and 8 after the 2nd down pass play only went for 2. On 3rd down, Wilson. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. 8 yards on the screen there, not enough. And it'll be 4th down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And this winds up a disaster. Nowhere near the marker. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Raiders with the football now in excellent field position. So the defensive front holding strong there on 4th and inches.
And how about the battle of big people up front? That turned into a leverage game, didn't it? Defensive linemen, they won it. Lower than the offensive guys, pushed them back, knifed through, and made a great play.
And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. And now the Seahawks are going to take a timeout here on defense as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Again, they'll pound it with Lynch. And he's able to get this one down to about the 40. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. The Raiders on 3rd down. They've hit on half of them, 5 for 10. This is 3rd and 8. third down, they go Lynch. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Now the Seahawks forced to use their third and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. This is Lynch, and he'll get this one down to about the 27. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball.
Here we go. Get down! 180! Where's your hut?
On second down, Lynch. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. The tackle made by K.J. Wright.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble.
On third down, here's Washington. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. It'll go as a gain of 9, and that should write an ending to this one.
Nice job there finding room to maneuver, and he worked his way into another first down. And look, they had great field position to start, but boy, they've done a nice job taking advantage of it.
Now they're just hoping to cap it off. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call. Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more. Little insult to injury here late in the game. This a 33-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And they bump the lead up to 4 now at 10-6. Well, Charles, the old saying, the old cliche, if you will, points at a premium, that certainly applied here, didn't it?
And that almost felt like opened up a time capsule, didn't it? Old school football, low scoring, close game. What a way to finish it up.
You loved it, didn't you? You loved the defenses.
I certainly did. Brought back the images of the game of old.
So for the Raiders, they remain as hot as anyone, 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, they can't quite seem to turn things around as they fall into 2-4 now on the year. And now they'll head to the bye week as they'll be back in action in Week 8. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.